We have to talk about the billions and billions of dollars that's being paid to the country that we're supposed to be protecting you against. I think it's something that NATO has to look at. I think it's very inappropriate. It doesn't seem to make sense that they pay billions of dollars to Russia, and now we have to defend them against Russia.
And they put the natural gas hub and the oil hub.
You know, Obama says that, well, Trump might be friendly with Putin, which I'm not. I don't know Putin. But they're coming up with this narrative like I'd be weak with Putin. Well, I never met Putin. I don't know who Putin is. He said one nice thing about me. He said I'm a genius. I said thank you very much to the newspaper. And I said he's a better leader than Obama.
But he does get rid of it.
I said he's a better leader than Obama because Obama's not a leader. So he's certainly doing a better job than Obama is. Putin said Trump is brilliant. And Trump, No, Putin. Now, I don't know Putin. We did do 60 Minutes together. Now, we weren't together, but he was on, I was on the same night. We got great ratings, by the way. I would treat Vladimir Putin firmly, but there's nothing I can think of that I'd rather do than have Russia friendly as opposed to the way they are right now. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press. Putin said some very good things about me. People say, oh, Trump's going to be weak with Putin because Putin is saying nice things about me. Okay, all right. And I said he's a strong guy. They immediately say, oh, Trump likes Putin. Look, I don't like or dislike. First of all, I have to say this. Wouldn't it be great if we actually got along with Russia? Am I wrong in saying that? Wouldn't it be great? Okay? Now, if you look at it, Germany is a captive of Russia because they got rid of their coal plants.
The current president is punishing Putin, but the next president is praising him, tweeting about the Russian leader's pledge not to retaliate against the U.S. until he sees how the Trump administration treats him, saying, quote, "Great move on delay by V. Putin. I always knew he was very smart." That public message to Putin came just hours after transition officials said the two had no plans to speak privately until the president received an intelligence briefing about Russian interference in the election, a briefing scheduled for next week. As to the question about whether or not the sanctions levied by the Obama administration will be here to stay once Mr. Trump takes over, the incoming White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus says nothing is set in stone.
It's going to be up to him, and he's going to sit down and talk to his leadership at the Defense Department and State and in the White House and make those decisions, Eric.
The transition team's wait-and-see attitude with Putin is a lot different than the current administration's feeling, but it fits with campaign trail talk from Mr. Trump.
I would treat Vladimir Putin firmly, but there's nothing I can think of that I'd rather do than have Russia friendly.
Prominent Republicans, including Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, Senator Lindsey Graham, and Senator John McCain, are pleased the Russian government is facing some sort of consequence for cyber meddling, even though they think it's long overdue. But that sets up a potential intra-party split, because the head of the party, the soon-to-be sworn-in 45th president, said last night about all the talk of hacking, quote, "It's time for our country to move on to bigger and better things."
I agree with the President-elect that we need to get on with our lives without having our elections being affected by any outside influence, especially Vladimir Putin, who was a thug and a murderer.
But despite Mr. Trump's past statements about Putin, experts expect him to keep an open mind when he has the authority to set his own Russia policy.
This is going to be a part of a conversation that the President-elect sets with the congressional leadership. I think they will give him the opportunity to establish the priority when it comes to creating a much stronger and constructive bilateral relationship between the U.S. and Russia. And I do think they'll make their case for stronger sanctions.
Now, if you look at it, Germany is a captive of Russia because they supply. They got rid of their coal plants.
Donald Trump is gushing again over Vladimir Putin.
If he says great things about me, I'm going to say great things about him.
Trump believes Putin called him brilliant a few months ago. Putin later said he only called Trump bright. But tonight, it's Trump's comments about the Russian president's leadership made to NBC News, which have brought serious fallout.
I mean, the man has very strong control over a country. Now, it's a very different system, and I don't happen to like the system. But certainly in that system, he's been a leader far more than our president has been a leader.
Putin, the man who invaded Ukraine, annexed Crimea, backs the brutal Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad, crushes those who oppose him inside Russia, and may well be responsible for the hack of the Democratic National Committee's computers. That Vladimir Putin, Trump says, outshines President Obama. Fresh meat for Hillary Clinton.
It is scary because it suggests he will let Putin do whatever Putin wants to do and then make excuses for him.
But Trump's embrace of Putin isn't just scaring Trump's rival.
I'm uncomfortable comparing the President of the United States to someone who's turned out to be a dictator.
Philip Mudd, a career intelligence analyst and executive at the CIA, FBI, and the White House National Security Council, is also troubled by Trump's declaration that he'd have a very good relationship with Putin.
In places like Europe, in places like Syria, in Iran, where America has critical policy interests, Putin has interests that are at variance. For example, in Syria, he supports the continuation of the Assad regime. The Americans obviously do not.
By contrast, experts say Putin believes Hillary Clinton will be more formidable.
Vladimir Putin would obviously prefer that Trump became president than Hillary Clinton, mostly because he really dislikes Hillary Clinton.
Some believe Putin, the former KGB officer, is manipulating Trump by stroking his ego. Former CIA Director Michael Morrell said this to ABC News.
Donald Trump didn't even understand, right, that Putin was playing him. So in Putin's mind, I have no doubt that Putin thinks that he's an unwitting agent of the Russian Federation, although Putin would never say that.
How might Putin manipulate Trump if Trump's elected?
I can imagine, at least in the early stages, Putin sort of getting Trump to believe everything that he says, by flattery, by taking Trump seriously, by complimenting him on his leadership ability, and then being a bad faith negotiator, which he always is.
But Germany is totally controlled by Russia.
But analyst Masha Gessen believes that if Trump wins the presidency, a dangerous confrontation between Trump and Putin is more likely. She calls it, quote, two mentally unstable, aggressive men with nuclear buttons. We reached out to the Trump campaign. They wouldn't respond directly to that or to the other criticisms of Trump's compliments of Vladimir Putin. Trump himself has said that Putin's compliments of him would have, quote, zero impact on their relationship.
Now, if you look at it, Germany is a captive of Russia because they supply. They got rid of their coal.